Togo President Faure Gnassingbe, I cannot pronounce his name, is facing increased pressure to reign or to step down as scores of his constituents protest against him. It's an old story. The Togo president faces these protests due to his newly sworn-in position as President of the Council of Ministers, a position that seemingly has no term limits, leading to opposition parties calling the move a constitutional coup. Yet another African leader refusing to step down. Online, Thelma Nyarhi, a researcher at the Democracy Development Program of KZN and a PhD student at UCT. Thelma Nyarhi, welcome to Newsbeat.
Thank you, and good afternoon to you and the listeners.
All right, Togo, just tell us something very quickly about Togo, the country. Where is it? I think a lot of listeners have probably heard the name, but don't know where the country is even situated in Africa. It's somewhere to the west, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the west. So I think to the north, Burkina Faso borders it. It's also close to Nigeria. So yeah, it's literally within that region. Just a strip of beautiful land.
Yeah, it's not a big country, but it's certainly in a very interesting neighborhood. And of course, Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traore, making a lot of moves in that country, chasing away the colonialists and all that kind of stuff. So perhaps an assassination is imminent. I'm being very cynical when I say that. But nonetheless, what do you make of this Togolese president making sure that he's in power for just a tad longer?
I mean, it's quite it's a troublesome time and quite a serious case where you see leaders basically carrying on, political inheritance that is literally just plagued by instability, plagued by anti-democratic moves. So we find that the country itself is, I think since the year 1963, when his father was president, it's literally been a country where coups, protests constantly happen. And I think that the difference here is this family, it's been literally leading for almost, actually 58 years and has been backed by military. So it's a military family constantly taking on power, constantly changing the constitution to serve its own interests, and calling it a matter of just looking out for the country's main interests or good interests.
I mean, I can't see this lasting very long, because I think what's happened in Burkina Faso, although it was a coup, I think has energized that region to the extent where even the leaders of Nigeria have to be careful. We know that Niger has also now recently got its own set of problems. It's a nervous neighborhood, isn't it?
It is, and I think unlike the previous protests, I mean, all the protests were basically youth-led more than anything. The country itself majority of it is youthful. But at the same time, you realize that these youth protests this time around are quite different from, previous times, where it's a matter of basically utilizing the digital space to amplify their voices through that. Because if not for that, we would never have known that this is actually happening. But it's through those digital spaces that we tend to see or get to see, coalitions basically forming in support of the greater movement of actually going against this anti-democratic state of events.
Yeah, I mean, the youth are becoming very resistant. I think that's the best way of putting it. They're not taking no for an answer. We saw a massive uprising in Sudan of the youth, and unfortunately Sudan has gone backwards because what the youth were aspiring to was completely ignored. Is Togo in that same kind of position where the political elite, as it were, is going to have to be very careful how they go forward in terms of stability in the country?
Yes, that could be the case, but I think more than ever, the continent has to stand up, because it's one thing to just note that, okay, this is happening in a certain country, but it's another to literally rally behind that country and, push for the greater good. So I think more than ever, It's a matter of activism more than anything, to basically amplify those experiences, amplify those voices, because it's only the people that can save themselves and not the other way around.
No, absolutely. Do you also think that the African Union has to really stand up now and make some kind of a statement? And when I mean a statement, it's not issuing a press release, a physical statement about the scenarios that we see unfolding in places like Togo, where the Nasingbi family has been there forever, basically.
Definitely, and hopefully, it, as you say, not necessarily just a press release, but a physical statement. So yeah, it's time for action. Words don't mean much anymore. It's a matter of action more than anything to actually fruitify this dream of democracy.
And of course, as I've already said, I mean, the signs are all there that young people in Africa, via their digital savvy, working on other platforms which are totally foreign to some of these old African leaders who can hardly make a phone call on a cell phone, that they are going to be out, that history is going to outpace them sooner than later, isn't it?
True, and things will be revealed faster than ever. That's also the other thing. And the interesting part is actually, I think like a month ago, the Togo country literally had put forward a module where the youth could be given these skills of how to utilize social media. So I don't know whether it's a matter of that kind of move biting them once again, but it's a good thing it's happening.
Indeed, and let's hope good things do happen for Togo, not the biggest country in Africa, but it certainly deserves some political stability. The young people do deserve jobs, and the economy needs to start getting off the ground. Thelma Nyarhi, researcher at the Democracy Development Program in KZN, currently doing a PhD at UCT. Look forward to read that one. Thelma Nyarhi, as always, thanks for joining us on African Mirror.
Thank you for having me.